If it's a binary decision, I'm more of a Battlefield guy than a Call of Duty guy these days, but that's really saying more about how much I love the huge-scale gameplay, vehicles, and storytelling in Battlefield more than an indictment on Call of Duty. Make no mistake, I was all about Call of Duty back in the original Modern Warfare days. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original Black Ops, and Call of Duty World War II are the most recent of the Call of Duty flavors I've played. Battlefield simply appeals more to my playstyle. However, there is no denying that the shooting in Call of Duty is some of the best in gaming. As far as my experience with Battle Royales, yeah. With Call of Duty Warzone being free to play, I figured I'd give it a try and see what happens. I didn't spend any money on the season pass or anything like that, and I ended up playing for around 10 hours over a long weekend. As is the problem with any online game, the servers were down for a good portion of one of those days. Always an ominous sign. By the way, if you enjoy this or any of my videos, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell others who may enjoy. It really helps a small channel like mine. For anyone else as behind the times as me, Warzone is a battle royale. In short, there's a large map onto which players drop at their leisure from a cargo aircraft traversing the map. Players jump with only a handgun, so all equipment and weapons must be acquired on site. While you can drop just about anywhere, there's a cloud of poison gas routinely shrinking the play area. Warzone features a few game modes all focused on killing other players, and one mode focused on collecting cash and, killing other players. The modes focused on homicide include teams of 3, 4, and solo combat. We'll talk more about the mode focused on larceny with the side of homicide in a bit. Warzone adds a couple twists to the Battle Royale formula. First, the Gulag. If you get homicided, you're taken to a small enclosed battle arena in a one-on-one winner respawns battle. Unfortunately, about half the kills I got during the entirety of my playtime came in the Gulag. However, if you lose in the Gulag, your team members in the 3 and 4 player group modes can still buy you back into the game if they collect enough cash, which can be found around the map just like the weapons and equipment. Now, I have a confession. I've never told anyone this, and I hope you can appreciate my secret. It isn't the sort of thing people normally talk about in public. It's embarrassing and the medical side effects are a real problem. I am not a high-skill Call of Duty player. I tended to prefer Battlefield because I was able to contribute through healing and reloading teammates as well as spotting enemies. So I could still be able to serve as a meaningful member of the team despite not leading the team in kills. Plus, I could always jump in a tank, helicopter, or airplane to help the cause. Being a pilot in real life, I appreciated the different flight mechanics and physics with each of the aircraft. Heck, I even enjoyed just flying around in the transport helicopter, serving as a mobile spawn point for my team. Sure, I had an okay kill-to-death ratio, but I had much more fun and contributed much more to my team and the battle playing a support role. I was rarely at the top of the leaderboard, but my squad mates often were, and my team almost always won the match. Shit, I even loved Ghost Recon Wildlands multiplayer, as a good helicopter pilot was extremely hard to find, but was tremendously helpful given the large map and often moving target objectives. That sort of play simply isn't rewarded, or in some cases even possible, in Call of Duty Warzone. There are some healing items and perks, as well as the opportunity to drop ammo to help teammates, but it's not a major feature. There's a pinging mechanic for spotting enemies, tagging equipment, and indicating your intentions to teammates, similar to the one pioneered by Apex Legends, but it has an unusually short range for how big these battles are. Speaking of Apex Legends, you guys remember Anthem? Yeah, me neither. Finally, there are a few vehicles in Warzone, but no tanks or armored personnel carriers. There's also only one helicopter you can regularly control. We'll get back to that. In terms of my recent Call of Duty experience, I loved World War II's multiplayer. I reached Prestige and started on a second playthrough. However, I never bothered with the zombie modes or anything like that. Also, back then and now, I use a mic, but I don't play with an established group. From a gameplay perspective, the shooting still feels great, and thankfully, the leveling system goes pretty fast at early levels. Plus, the weapons strewn throughout the map are often high-leveled, and you can use whatever you find. There is no rank limitation on using the good gear. However, you can buy access to your chosen loadouts with money found on the map. So the higher-level players can regularly access their desired loadouts almost immediately upon mission start. Even though I was playing with randos, I actually had pretty good team experiences. A few of my groups had 2 other people with mics, and we were definitely more effective. I was only called something unspeakable over the mic once or twice, so I count that as a win given the reputation of the current Call of Duty player base. Speaking of the player base, let me tell you about the matchmaking. As a brand new player, I was constantly, literally every match, teamed up with and facing off against top tier players with far superior weapons, abilities, and, experience playing the game. Plus, I routinely ended up getting hunted, which showed my position on the map to opposing players. If the other teams managed to kill me, they'd get awarded additional cash. I get that the game came out a while ago, but I had the servers set to include console and PC players. They seriously couldn't get enough players in my experience levels? Shit, I'd take plus or minus 50 levels from mine. In my first match ever, I was killed less than 10 seconds after landing by a player at level 123. I somehow managed to win in the Gulag, only to be subsequently killed in the game world by a player at level 112. I was literally level 1. So I got my butt kicked all over the map in the Battle Royale modes. On the other hand, the larceny mode with a side of murder was right up my alley. Given that my kill to death ratio in Battle Royale had damn near turned into an imaginary number, I figured a mode focused on collecting cash with unlimited respawns would be a heck of a lot better. I knew I could help scout enemies, scavenge at least some cash, and not be wholly eliminated from a round after death. I even ended up with great groups. On one mission, I managed to poach one of the helicopters, an unarmed MH6 Little Bird, and once I realized my team didn't want or need a ride anywhere, I scouted enemies in the area while circling at low altitude. It was great! The helicopter controls are a bit simple, even if you customize them for use with a keyboard. Give me collective and yaw tail rotor control, you cowards! The next match I wound up with a thermal scope equipped, a 50 caliber sniper rifle, and an elevated position with which I was familiar. I was in heaven. I managed to knock an enemy or two from their flank and spotted a number of enemies from my position overlooking where my other team members were collecting cash. And then I was kicked for inactivity. What? Reviewing Reddit for the issue, it seems anyone doing Overwatch during plunder is simply kicked. It doesn't seem to be tied to your physical movement because I moved right before I got kicked. Perhaps it's tied to the number of things you are picking up per minute, but I wasn't picking things up when I was flying the helicopter, so I have no idea. Being kicked like that while contributing to my team and playing a game mode I finally found interesting was absolutely infuriating. I was far more useless when I was flying around that helicopter in circles, drawing attention to my team. But I wasn't kicked. The developers literally decided that the way I play games and help my team isn't the way they want their game played. No problem, that's their prerogative. I mean, heck, the game was free. However, there's just not much here for me.